Hello friends, welcome to Optra Automation. In this video, we are going to cover different AWS services. This is the very first video in this series and we are going to cover up the compute domain. So let's see what exactly we have, what are the different services we have in the compute domain. We have EC2, we have Lightsail, ECS, EKS, Lambda, Batch, and Elastic Beanstalk. We are not going into the detail of each and every service like how we have to deploy and provision in Amazon Web Services because it is not yet covering any of the exams or the certifications which is concentrating on each and every service from the deployment and provisioning purpose. For the practitioner and solution architect associate exam, only high level overview of each and every service is important. If you know the name, if you know the full form, and if you know why and for which particular purpose we are using it in the industry, this is more than enough for the practitioner as well as the solution architect associate exam. Yes, there are a couple of services in which we have to deep dive in the technical domain. Then these services I'll cover up in the next future lectures. But as of now, for all the services, we should concentrate on the high level overview. The very first is the EC2. EC2 is basically Elastic Compute Cloud, and it is a service which is almost similar to the creating of virtual machines in any virtualized environment, whether you are using Hyper-V from Microsoft or maybe a VMware from VMware itself. You can simply create a virtual machine, you selecting the operating system image, whether it is a Linux or Windows, select the compute power, maybe a 2-core CPUs, 4-core CPUs, RAM, and different other options. Let's say different ports, port 80 for the HTTP, port 443 for HTTPS, RDS, SSH, port 22. So it's all together like how you are provisioning your EC2 instance. This is the terminology in the cloud, which is almost similar to the virtual machine in traditional IT environment. Then we have Lightsail. Lightsail is basically very new service in AWS. Uh, let's say for a use case, I'll just give you an example. If you are planning to deploy or host a one particular website or maybe a web portal for any startup company or maybe if you are a student, if you are planning to build your own website for very initial use, or you can say for the startup or a short-term purpose, if you are planning to do that, then obviously if you're going for the traditional way, then you have to build one server, maybe EC2 instance. Then you have to plan accordingly your network services. You have to install Apache. You have to install WordPress separately if you are planning to develop that website on a WordPress. And you have to configure your network settings accordingly. So it's altogether a very big task to deploy a website if you're planning to go in the cloud as well. So Lightsail makes this job very, very easy. You have to simply select which particular field you are choosing to deploy your website, whether WordPress, whether Beanstalk, whether Joomla, Drupal, any other options available in the market. So you have to simply do a couple of clicks in the navigation pane itself, and after that Lightsail will do the magic behind the scenes. There is no need to configure network settings. There is no need to configure the compute services, etc. It is automatically, once it's done, within a couple of minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, after that it will give you one IP address. And using that particular IP address, you can use your website, you can customize it, you can edit it. So it is very, very easy if you're planning to deploy a website or a web portal in the cloud. Then we have ECS and EKS. These both are the container services because containerization is very new term in the market. Earlier, we used to do all most of the stuff with the virtualizations. Now the containerizations comes into the picture. If you're talking about the DevOps terminology in the CI/CD, most of the companies are using Docker and the Kubernetes. So basically, ECS is the alternate of Docker containerization, and EKS is if you're planning to use the Kubernetes in the AWS cloud. Then we have Lambda. Lambda is very powerful service in the cloud. If you are planning to do any kind of automation, the Lambda is best fit for you. Lambda is serverless and it is very useful. Let's say if you are planning to, it's an event-based trigger. Um, I'll give you an example. Let's say I have developed one website and I deployed it on the cloud using the Lambda function, and I'm using a API gateway. So whenever there is a request come from the internet, from any user all over the world, that particular request hits API gateway, and then API gateway comes to know, okay, this particular request is for my HTTP or HTTPS. Then again, the Lambda function will trigger automatically and it will build the entire environment, the web portal completely to fulfill that request. I'm I will be charged only for that particular moment whenever someone request or someone tried to access my web portal. Even though my website is hosted on the cloud, but I'm not being charged until someone requested to see the home page or someone typed the URL in the browser. So this is the magic. This is very good. Batch is basically used for the batch scheduling. Maybe the guys who works on the system operations or the data centers operations, they know very well what exactly is the batch scheduling and batch jobs. So this is the same service you can use in the cloud. Then we have Elastic Beanstalk. It is again the most powerful. It is also serverless, and Beanstalk is a platform as a service offering in the AWS cloud. Developers don't bother about how they are going to host their code on the different environment, architecture, networks, servers. No need to worry about anything. They simply focus on the development of their code, submit it into the Beanstalk, and the Beanstalk will automatically do all the stuffs behind the scene. It is also very good. So if you're talking about the certification point of view, so EC2, Lambda, and Elastic Beanstalk are the main component or the main topics that we have to discuss deep dive in the future lectures under the compute domain. So that's it for this lecture, guys, and I'll create another video for the rest of the services. Thank you.